No, that title was not clickbait. $1.13 per mile is one of my loads this week. So stick around for that train wreck. Welcome back, everybody. So we're gonna do something just a little bit different really quickly. So I styled my beard, and down below, if you like the beard or you think I should keep it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like the beard or you just really don't care, give it a thumbs down. I'm just totally curious. Leave a comment down below if you've got something colorful to say. I think that would be entertaining. But I mean, ultimately, you know, my wife does not like the beard, so you know, we'll see how long I actually get to keep it. But anyway, let's get into the weekly weigh-in. If you are new here, every week I go over my numbers for the week. I let you know exactly what's going on out here. And if you want to be notified, go ahead down below, consider subscribing, and then once you subscribe, ring that notification bell so you know every Sunday when I put out my next weekly weigh-in video. Also, throughout the week, I put out some tips for truck drivers, as well as I also vlog. So please check those out, but let's get into the weekly weigh-in. So this is February. This is roughly the second week of February. I started off in Garner, North Carolina, and I could not find a load. I couldn't find a load. And I had to go all the way down to Claxton, Georgia. Wait for it. 360-mile deadhead. It is what it is. But let's hear all the load before you hammer me. The loaded miles, it was 1,304 loaded miles. So for the total mileage, it was 1,664 total miles. Now the pay was $2,748.74. Now this is a 3-day load. Well, it's 3 driving days and then I deliver in the morning. So to me, I consider that 3 days of work. Now 3 days of work, that's about $900. It's actually a little over $900 a day. So even when you factor in that deadhead, I'm still right there, where I want to be. Because freight's a little bit slower, I've dropped down from trying to average $1,000 a day to doing $900 a day. So the load fit where I wanted to be. I actually felt comfortable with this. Now, it was paying really well. The loaded pay, and we're talking about on 1,304 miles, was about $211 a mile. So that's a really good paying load. And then, but once you factor in that deadhead, it dropped that average all the way down to about $1.65 a mile. So is what it is. But you know, you can see that even though it was $1.65 on average, when you chase that mileage, you can still make good money out here. And then the next load, here's where we get dicey. So that last load delivered to Dodge Center, Minnesota. While I was up there on the way passing through Iowa the last day of driving, when I got off of Highway 63, the highway was fine, but the side roads were really bad. They were really icy. I almost got stuck twice. Before you blast me about having super singles, it's not what it was. I'm not trying to hear that anymore. Those, you know, those tires are good tires. You're talking about the traction loss is very, very minimal. Where I almost got stuck is that I have a tag axle in the back. And so that means that that very back axle, all it does is drag. So I have less weight back there because I don't have a drive shaft going back to that rear axle. So loss of power and loss of weight. Those two things combined makes this truck a southern truck. Things get a little bit dicey during the winter, but that's where experience comes in, and I was able to work myself out of those jams that I was in. So knowing that about Iowa, when I parked that night, it was snowing. When I woke up the next day, it was snowing. I went to the receiver, delivered that load. On the way, or actually right as I got to that receiver, snow started coming down. And when I was on my way back to that truck stop, I mean, I got whited out a couple of times. I was doing 20 miles an hour. The road was really bad. So I just didn't even feel comfortable being on the road. It was really nasty out. I will link, boom, up there where I talk about having to cancel this load that we're talking about now. So you can check that out. But I got back to that truck stop and I looked and they were just getting smoked. You know, it was a lot of snow, just really bad conditions, super high winds, and you know, being empty, having to go over there, it's just none of that is a good combination, none of it. So I wound up canceling that load. It was very disappointing, but my next load that we're about to talk about takes me home. You know, it's taking me back to Houston, and I didn't, you know, I need to be there. I've got obligations this week. We've got Valentine's this week. I need to spend that with my honey. So, you know, I needed to actually take that load. So unfortunately, it was a 429-mile deadhead down to Edgerton, Kansas. The loaded mileage on this load was 797 miles for a total mileage of 1,226 miles. The pay on the load was $13.86 and 85 cents. So the loaded pay on this, which that Iowa load would have brought me within 30 miles of this, so it would have only been a 30-mile deadhead. Keep that in mind. That's why I took this load. But the loaded pay was about $1.74 a mile, but when you factor in that deadhead, it brought it all the way down to $1.13 a mile. See, the title was not clickbait. That's actually what happened. So for the total for the week, my total deadhead for the week was 789 miles. That's scary considering I only ran 2 loads and I'm not pulling an RGN. The loaded mileage on the week was 2101. For a total mileage of 2890. The pay for the week was $41.35 and 59 cents. So not a horrendous week, but definitely subpar. It's still, you know, it's gonna pay the bills, so that'll work. My loaded pay, you know, for the week was $1.97, and that's kind of what saved me, was that I was able to grab 2 decent paying loads. You know, that first load, really, that's the one that did it. You know, 211 on 1,304 miles, that's huge. And then, but once you factor in that deadhead, that dropped my total pay mileage for the week to $1.43 per mile. So you definitely cannot say that I don't show the bad with the good. You know, I'm an open book. It's not always butterflies and rainbows out here. You know, you have to prepare yourself for this, and that's why having a nest egg in the bank account is something that's vital to your success being out here. Because if you threw in, you know, like a breakdown, heaven forbid that doesn't happen to me, but you know, this could be a detrimental week to a lot of people. So, you know, unfortunately, that's trucking. You know, that's just the way that it goes sometimes, and be prepared for it. Don't come out here and think, well, just because I'm buying a truck, I'm gonna make more money than I used to make. That may not always be the case, and it's probably definitely not always gonna be the case. So anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget, next Sunday, I will see you on the weekly weigh-in. Always. Don't forget, stay driven. I don't know. I don't know. Not sure.